Welcome everybody to Atlas's build on Mu. So I'm gonna butcher this, but the Sage of the Bottled Gourd, Hsiang. No idea if that's how you pronounce it, so I'm just gonna keep referring to her as Mu. Alright, so this video actually comes as a request from Eclipse. So thank you Eclipse for the request. He is a 47, almost 48 million power player from server 665. 2 million merits there. So thank you for this request here for Mu. So looking at the introduction here, we have 10 million, almost 11 million PvP kills so far. I don't have any reports to share with you guys. All my reports have timed out over the last few days, so I can't really see any of them or pull them up. So starting with the skill overview for Mu, her rage ability, Warding Sigil, is a rage cost of 1,000, very far range, launches a Jade Demon Pellet at the target, dealing damage factor of 800, not the best. The Jade Demon Pellet can also be transmitted to a random enemy legion, dealing 40% less damage when transmitted. So it is still AoE damage. So we have her second ability here. After Mu casts a rage skill, she heals her own legion every second for 3 seconds of 150. So that's 150, 300, 450 healing. Okay. So you get 450 healing after rage skill. Health Food, her third ability here, Legion grants 10% more healing and gains 20% defense. So 10% healing buffing this, and 20% Legion defense bonus, 20%. And then Battle Medicine here as the fourth ability. Whenever the Legion grants healing, it gains 1 stack of Physician's Mark. Each stack increases Legion attack by 6% for 5 seconds, maximum 3 stacks. This effect can be triggered once per second. So, you get 1 stack per turn, 1 second in game, so 1 auto attack, and that gets procced 3 times here for 3 seconds, stacking this up to 18%. Effect can be triggered. So this can be 18% extra Legion attack bonus, which is really nice. Now the Awaken skill here, if you don't have Mu Awaken, it's 100 damage factor. So I think that's the only big difference there is the 100 damage factor. I don't like how the new description briefs for these new heroes are. There's a lot less details on them than the old. Rather have like the skill down below that you can see the damage. Anyways, with Mu being in season 2, she is still only epic. We can't get her legendary yet. I believe that comes in season 3. Don't quote me on that, but I'm thinking it's going to be season 3 that we can upgrade Mu to legendary. Maybe season 4. I'm thinking it's season 3. Moving on to the talents, I've got 2 really similar talent builds here for you. So we're going to be taking the foundation talents. This is using Mu as a primary. Next, we're going to be moving into the support tree. We're taking the overall health. We're taking the rage generation. I've put my extra point in prayer here, increasing 1% healing granted. Now we're getting the defensive bonus. Up here, we're taking every time your Legion gains a buff effect, their HP increases by 0.5 up to a maximum of 3%. So we're gaining 3% maximum life. Over this, removes a debuff effect for your Legion whenever they cast a rage skill. We're not meant to be taking that much damage. We're not meant to be focused, anything like that. We're meant to be... So this is just making us a bit more tanky rather than taking a debuff, right? So here, what we're doing is we're taking Intimidation. Your Legion deals 4% more hero skill damage. So we're just pumping up the rage skill damage because it is AoE. After that, we've got Rebirth. Your Legion has a 10% chance to receive healing when hit with a normal attack. So this effect can be triggered, so it's just more healing, just triggering battle medicine, as well as letting our Legion survive. After that, we have Pick Me Up. Gain 15 additional rage when your Legion receives healing or shielding, which then we are getting healing every turn, right? That's what we're focusing on, or at least 3 turns after we use a rage skill so far, or if we get hit. So that's the combo there. Finally, we're moving into Flock of Blessing. When your Legion gains a buff effect, they also gain healing factor of 150. So as you can see, we're just stacking those heals. This build is all about stacking heals for Mu. The other option there that we have is Punisher. When your Legion receives healing, they deal hero skill damage factor of 150. This is also good. You can also take this as well. I was running Punisher for a while. Now I'm trying Flock of Blessing. So I know there's 8% versus 62%, but this isn't so bad, but it is. This effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds, and this is once every 10 seconds. So it's basically, would you rather the more healing, more sustain, or do you want a little extra damage factor? Now, next up, I've gone right here into overall attack. So we're going up into the PvP tree rather than the overall tree. Your Legion deals 5% normal attack damage in the field. And then here, Fury Flame, dealing more hero skill damage. So we're stacking the hero skill damage because we're stacking the rage. So rage generation. We are trying to max out what we're getting for rage generation. And then here, obviously, Army of Valor is going to be the better one, just increasing our damage dealt versus getting more tanky in the defenses. So that's what this is. This is meant to be played. See, we're taking this rivalry here, this damage, and the reason that we're taking that is because looking at Celestials here, flying over terrain. Yeah, increase magic attack by 5% as long as the Legion has not moved for 4 seconds while in the battle. Only takes effect when the Legion is composed entirely of Celestials. So we're taking the magic attack here, the 251 base plus 316, versus here, oh, what was that? 219 plus 368. Did I look at T5s? Yeah, it's 332 plus 418. So 332 in comparison to 332 versus comparison of 292. So that's the difference there of why we are taking the talents of getting this extra attack versus going with the extra HP. Okay, so your march speed is really here at the 6%, and march speed can be lower for Mu because you're meant to just stand in the back, we're healing the team, everything like that. Now the second tree that I'm going to show you is not mine. This was actually produced by Gunz. So give a huge shout out to Gunz over at Gunz Call of Dragons or something like that, COD Gunz. So this is actually his build. So if you look at his legendary Mu Thea build, this is what he was running, except for I believe he was running overall defense here instead of the march speed. So it's basically the same. The one difference is right here, prayer. Instead of the 1% healing, you put the extra point in over here. So sublimation, when launching a normal attack, your Legion has a 10% chance to gain synergy, increasing hero skill damage dealt by 2%. So it's just an extra 2% here. So this 1 point is the value of 2 points here. Okay, so yeah, instead of taking prayer here, we can take here. So that is an option if you want it there. We're also taking the healing there, taking the damage, and then we're taking the overall defense. The overall defense. So if we take the defense here, we're taking the defense here, and if you take the defense down here, that is creating an extremely tanky Moo. So your Moo is just having incredible heals. If you pair it with Thea, then you're shielding, you're healing, you're not taking counterattack damage. You're sitting there attacking whoever you want to attack, and you're not taking counterattack damage, or barely any, because of all the shields and healing that you're getting. So you do keep in mind that this is epic Moo. This isn't the legendary version. So right here, showing it again, this is the Gunz version of the tree, except for he has the overall defense down here, and the rest of this would be the Gunz version, and the version I'm currently running is just a bit more damage, and I'm taking the march speed for that extra 6% rather than taking the extra 1.2% defense there, but we still got 2% defense there. So that's the difference there. It's just this one has a bit more tankiness versus a little bit more damage. That's the difference. And then this point can be swapped to up there, 4, because that's the value of 2 points there, is the value of putting 1 point in there. So those are the two kind of talent trees for Moo. So moving on to pairings. Who are you going to pair Moo with? So a big one that I've been saying already is Thea. So Moo Thea is going to be the #1 pairing, launching Moo as the primary. So Moo Thea, fantastic. Even Moo being epic, you can launch Moo with Thea there. Another commander that Moo works well with so far that I've been testing out is Bahorn. So I'm absolutely loving Bahorn. I know he's not as good as what I think he is, but we've got more rage generation here. We've got a decent skill damage factor, so we can get an extra 60 rage gained per legion hit. Right here, we've got 20% march speed bonus. So with the 6% here, and then we take the extra 20% march speed here. Now, when you are leveling Bahorn, you want 5, 5, and then I leveled these two start up first, but make sure you get the first 2 skills start up first. Then we have attack resistance of 10% and attack bonus of 10%. So that stacks on top of the 18% we get here. So we're at 28% attack bonus, and we're using the Celestials, which already have higher attack. So that's kind of where Moo is shining, is kind of in Celestials as being the primary. Okay, this is Moo primary. So here we've got magic unit damage taken reduction, so it's just making us a bit more tanky. I think Bahorn as mages, this is the worst skill. I mean, everything else I would rather have for my mages. And then finally, his last skill here, you lose that 50 rage, which isn't good, but we have a ton of rage regen, little damage factor, and then damage taken. So this one here, actually, what I would do is I would have Born 5, 5, 1, 0, and I would leave this skill at 0. I wouldn't star him up to 4 stars until you're planning on getting more points in here. So until you're planning on either maxing this or getting it 2, 3 points, that extra 100 damage factor and 4% damage for taken is not worth losing that 50 rage. So that's a little bit thing there. If I do a Born video, I will talk about that. And if you do awaken him, your Legion gains normal attack crit rate of 30% for 5 seconds after casting the Rage ability. So that's while you're in between Rage cycles. You're just going to be hitting those crits, which you're already stacking, the extra attack bonus and the extra attack bonus. So that's another pairing there that I have been trying in the field as well. So that's another option. So if you want to pair Moo, she is this overall hero. She is not pigeonholed, right? So another pairing, and if you listen to my starter guide, you're going to have Guanwin. Now, I don't need to go into a Guanwin guide because Hulksenden Gaming has already done recently a Guanwin Moo guide there. You can run Moo as the primary or Guanwin as the primary. So if you're using her with archers, Moo pairs well with any of the archers. So looking at your overall archers for Season 1, Season 2, you can use Mu with Kanara. I would use Kanara as the primary in that regard, but you can use her with your Guanwin, with your Nico, you know, even with your Greg, right? If you're playing with Greg, get that extra damage factor, get that AoE going, uh, you could do her with Craig. Now, for tank pairings, I'll also use Garwood here with all of that healing, and then all of the healing that comes from Mu. I'm just stacking that healing, because if you remember from the Garwood guide there, we have the extra bonus healing that's coming in as well. So, Garwood Mu is another option. And this is just totally what's canceling out Bakar, is just Mu. Mu being epic, legendary, getting her in Season 1 is absolutely fantastic. This just allows her to be paired. Now also, if you watched Battle Abyss, you can see players like Wawa, Kiyomi, they're running Mu as a secondary to their cavalry. So when it comes to their epic cavalry, you know, with their Marduk, with their Alistar, I think it's Alistar, Hosk is what they're running, and then it's something like their Marduk. Their Marduk they're running with the Mu as the deputy. So those are other pairings. You can really slot her in what's your focus. If it's archers, slot her in with some archers. If you need her as a backup for your Garwood, right? Throw her as a backup for your Garwood, because a lot of people are running Madeline, Nika, and then you can run Garwood Mu, and then you have 2 tank marches right there. So she's absolutely solid to get to max out. She totally replaces quite a few champions in the game, like for here, you know, getting the normal attack damage reduction, the defensive bonus. Yeah, like she's great as a backup tank as well. You could slot her with your Garwood, but then Mu, you can just put her wherever. So investing in Mu, I think, is absolutely necessary, like really good. For Season 1, Season 2, I would rate her as a low A tier champion. Absolutely, I would. Just fantastic. I believe I'm using her for my defensive lineup as well. So next up, we're going to be moving into some artifacts here. Now, right here, you can see that I have Visage of the Sanctus, only level 1 so far, but I am running Mu with Thea. That's the kind of more of the main march when I'm playing in the open field. It's that Mu kind of Thea, and so we get the extra shields from the Visage right here, and then we get the flying unit defense, we get some legion attack, and then damage taken, defense. So it's a very defensive march. It's not meant to pump out the damage. It's definitely meant to, we're sitting in the fight, we're sustaining. So while archers go out there and they might get quadruple the merits that Muthia can get, this makes it so all your other legions are kind of, you're getting those shields, you're just staying in the fight longer. So yeah, it's not going to be pumping out the same damage numbers, and you may not be getting the same merit reports, like it's not going to be your top damage, but it's definitely going to be one of your longest in the field. And so it's very valuable when it comes to that. Now, other artifacts that you can run is the Phoenix Eye. If you're wanting, because it's already defensive, since our march is already quite defensive, if you're wanting to get that extra magic attack, legion attack, you know, there's a little bit of damage taken reduction, you know, we can get some extra damage dealt bonus, but really that magic unit attack, that legion attack, we can stack this up, and this can really pump up our attack since we're already so defensive. So this is also another great item with the activation ability, being able to hit 4 enemy legions. So it's really about that AoE rage cycle we're pumping into them. Now, I mean, if you wanted to run Lilia Mu, and we've just got that little extra healing on that Lilia, then obviously it's going to be your Infernal Flame. You know, you've got the Dragon Scale Armor, you've got the Deathless Vines, Where is it? There you are. Fang of Ashkari. If you're running that infantry, like that Garwood Moo that we were talking about, then those are 3 legendaries right there in Season 1 that you can run. For your archers, Heart of Kamasi, you're just getting that extra defense, and we're getting some more physical attack. So if you're running that Moo with maybe your Nico, maybe your Guanwin, this is a awesome artifact that you can run as well in the open field, just giving you that extra defense right here. There's also the Spring Blades, which is a free-to-play option for your marksman because you can get those as your, I guess not free-to-play, but low spender. You can get that as your seasonal rewards to max out the Shadow Blades there. So really epics. For epic artifacts, it's really where you're running her. You know, we've got that long sword that we've already covered. We've got the magic bomb. You know, we've got Crown of the Berserker for cavalry. You know, you've got a few different options here for really what are you wanting to run. You know, Butcher's Blade for some infantry attack, which, I mean, I wouldn't use infantry attack anyways myself. We've got some marksman attack. Yeah, Heart Piercer. We have marksman attack as well. So that's really, you've got, I mean, we've even got tier here. I guess you could even use tier, lightly heal. I mean, I don't think tier is going to be the best, honestly. I think we've already got enough healing, shielding, all of that kind of stuff going on that I would rather, you know, get a little bit more Legion attack in there or pump up with the Phoenix Eye. That's really my recommendations for Celestials. It's going to be those two. You know, for archers, you've got the Shadow Blades and you've got the Heart of Kamasi. Kind of your there. And then for tanks, we just have so many good Season 1, Season 2 kind of artifacts with those 333 right there. That's what you've got for your artifacts. Moving on to pets. Now, pets here. This is my current Sand Lizard that I'm running. So it is 8 skill slots. The attributes are low, so it would be nice to pump up the attributes a little bit here. So I'm not sure how much more I want to invest in this Sand Lizard, because I did get... Is he not here? Yeah, I did get this guy yesterday, so I've already got the Divine Blessing on it. I've already got a Poison Gland, so I might build up another Sand Lizard here. I'm debating whether I want to use this guy or not, and then see if I can get some better rules than this here. So with Moo, obviously, you can run the Chain Strike package if you're running it with the Archers. So what the Sand Lizard's going to do is your Legion heals up to 4 of your nearby Legions while in battle. So we've got even more healing, more sustain. So we're bringing sustain to the field now. So we're sacrificing a bit of damage to bring out that sustain, and that's going to help all of our other mages, celestials, stay in the field. We're counteracting any counterattack damage. We're just going to stand there and we're just going to pump out damage, and we're just going to keep fighting. Now, intelligence is going to be our main stat, and then, like I said, I need to pump up all these other stats as well. So, you know, we've got the advanced stone aura, reducing the cooldown of stone aura per every 135 agility. So it would be nice to get, what is that, 270? So 270 agility is kind of what you're going to want there. And then you're going to want maximum intelligence is your 2 main stats. After that, I'm using follow-up. I'm also using great care. 10% chance to receive healing every second. So it's more healing that we're just stacking onto Moo. As you can see, that is kind of the build idea. Tranquility here, War Pet skill healing granted. We're just increasing the healing that we're getting from Stone Aura and from Great Care. Divine Blessing, War Pet healing granted. We're increasing the healing based off of strength now. Jeez, what's the build? Healing. Intense follow-up, so crit rate on the follow-up there. So War Pet has a 40% chance to cast a magical rage skill again. So we're just doubling up the healing. And then Poison Gland is really the only damage that we have, with just ignoring some units, some HP, just bypassing. So we could, like, if I rolled a 7 skills with really good stats, better agility, you know, same intelligence, then that's what I would do there and just run a 7. A 7 is really what you're looking for. Don't really need the 8th there. Your other option is to run the Sapphire Fade Drake. This would also be really good for your Celestials, so you could run something like that, with your focus obviously being that same intelligence, and I think it's Spirit next are the two big ones that you're looking for, possibly even Luck. So yeah, Intelligence. I mean, I would drop this skill. I need to drop this skill. I need to fix it, but Luck you've got there for the Magic Fortune. You know, Spirit. So yeah, these here, your Intelligence, your Spirit, your Luck, that's kind of what you're looking for your high 3 stats there for your Sapphire Fade Drake. So you could also run this, and this is just going to be more damage because we already have so much healing and sustain that you could take this Sapphire Fade Drake to just deal more damage. So that's kind of what you're going to be running for your Celestials, is either Sand Lizards or Sapphire Fade Drakes for Season 1, Season 2. Now, if you're playing Moo with the Archers, who are you going to be using? You're going to be using that Shadow Manticore. Shadow Manticore, absolutely. So you'll probably notice a pattern. What are the big pets that we're running? The Venomous Lizard, the Sand Lizard, your Sapphire Fade Drake, and your Shadow Manticore. These work on multiple legions, and they will always be worth it throughout the entire game. So obviously what we're looking for is Luck stat. Your Luck stat needs to be your highest. Next after that is going to be your Agility, which my Agility sucks, but just so we can pump up that Chain Strike. So my Agility being a B is horrendous, right? Luck, we're stacking again, more Luck. You know, agility, and then strength. So I've got good luck and strength. It's just the agility on this pet sucks, which really takes it down to like a B tier pet. Like B, C tier. So, but that's what you're going to be running. And then obviously if you're running it with the Garwood, you're going to be running your Venomous Lizard, dealing that counterattack damage. So that's pets there for you. So thank you for watching my Moo build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.